So in this problem, we're taking the 14.77 and we are dividing it by the 0.06, which is the same thing as 0.06. And then the first thing we need to think about is, do we need to move the decimal or do we not? If you do not see a decimal in the divisor, you don't have to move it. But if you do see a decimal in the divisor, then you do have to move the decimal. And when I look at the divisor, which is what we're dividing by, I do see a decimal. So that means we need to move the decimal. I need to move it until it hits the wall. Once, twice, and it hits the wall of the division symbol. That's a cute way of saying that we need the divisor to be a whole number. So this changes the divisor to a 6, which is a whole number. Remember, whole numbers don't have a decimal expansion. So now we look at 14.77, and I need to move that decimal the same number of times. So the dividends decimal also moves 2 times. So I put 1477 is what this number becomes, 1,477. I'm going to erase this up here to give myself some room. And now I can start dividing. So I asked myself, how many times does 6 go into 1? Well, 6 is larger than 1, so I'm going to place a 0 above that. Then I focus on the 14. How many times does 6 go into 14? Well, 18 is too much, so I need to use 2 of the 6's. So I place a 2 here. 2 times 6 is 12. And then I subtract. 14 minus 12 is 2. Then brother bring down a 7. Then I ask a question. Dad has a question. How many times does 6 go into 27? Well, I look at my chart again. 30 is too much, so I'm going to use 24. And that's 4 of the 6's. So 4 of the 6's goes into 27. So mommy multiply would mean I take 4 and multiply it by 6 and get 24. Sister subtract, 7 minus 4 is 3. 2 minus 2 is 0. Brother bring down, and then Rover do it over. So we do this again. Dad has a question, how many times does 6 go into 37? Well, 42 is too much, so we're going to use 36. So that would be 6 sixes. So how many 6's go into 37? Well, 6. Because 6 times 6, mommy multiply, we get 36. Sister subtract, I get 1. And then I look and there's nothing to bring down. So in this situation, we need to add a decimal, bring that up to the top, then add a 0, and that's what the brother brings down. And then I can ask the question. Well, we're at Rover do it over. So I can ask the question now. 6 goes into 10 how many times? Well, this is getting a bit messy over here. Okay, 6 goes into 10. Well, 12 is too much. So we're going to use 1 6. 1 times 6, mommy multiply, is 6. Sister subtract. And 10 minus 6 is 4. And then I need to bring down a 0. 6 goes into 40. Well, 42 is too much, so I'll use 36. So 6 sixes gives me 36. So I'll put a 6 at the top. 6 times 6 is 36. So I put 36 here. Sister subtract, I get 4. I need to add a 0 and bring it down. Well, 6 goes into 40. 42 is too much, so I use 36 again. So I need to put a 6 at the top here. I'm going to just shrink this a little bit so you can see this all at once. So 6 goes at the top here. 6 times 6 is 36. I subtract, I get 4 again. Bring down a 0. I hope you are starting to see a pattern. 6 goes into 46 times. 6 times 6 is 36. I subtract, I get a 4. Bring a 0 down. 40. 6 goes into 46 times. This is going to go on forever. So my answer is 246 and, ooh, I really can't say that the formal way because of this, it's a repeating decimal, so I should really say 246.16, the 6 is repeating. So now I'm going to come over here and type this in, and it looks a little different. 246.1, and then I go to this typing tool, and I need this shows the repeat bar, and then I can type my 6. The 1 is not repeated, only the 6, so the bar should only be above the 6, and the green light shows that I got it correct.